Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Low TV here, back with a new video. And today I decided not to do a reaction, but to do a review instead, a full album review. So let's just kick this off and let's just see how it goes. So the first album I want to cover is an album by SAiNt called Ghetto, Lenny's Love Songs. Now, I wasn't really familiar with SAiNt till this album came out. Pretty much this album came out in August, and let me say, I was very surprised on how well this album was. Like, it blew me away that I had never heard of him. So if you were like me and you have never heard of him, I highly encourage you to go check him out, and also to watch this review, of course, and have you guys form your own opinions about it and let me know down in the comment section below. Now, from just my interpretation of the album and just constantly listening to it, it almost seems like there's a falling in love with the stripper kind of theme that goes on throughout the whole album. Not necessarily a concept where there's a story, a start and a finish, but more like a theme that just happens to pop up throughout the duration of the album. So with that in mind, I'm going to go through every single song and telling you exactly how I feel about it. Now, for the intro track, Wedding Day, in my opinion, it's a pretty catchy song. It's a good overall song. It's a good way to start off the album. And this is what introduces the stripper, street life, and success theme that is constantly played throughout this whole album. Now, the second song is titled Anything Can Happen. And this one actually contains a Meek Mill feature. And this song is just about just living a legendary life. It's your typical brag rap, but in my opinion, the standout part of this song is the Meek Mill feature. When Meek Mill starts his verse, the beat gets stripped down into this black dramatic sound, and it's a really good change of pace. And overall, it's one of my favorites. The third joint to this album is called Trap. Now, this one I believe is the most popular song on the album, but the beat on this thing, man, the beat is like hypnotizing, and the hook just feels like I'm falling into an abyss of pleasure and bliss. It's amazing. The sonics on this thing really make this record worthwhile, and Lil Baby does his thing. Like I said in the previous track, this one is also one of my favorites. The next song is titled 5,000 Singles. Now, this song is a strip club banger. Like, this is what I imagine playing full blast while walking into a strip club. And it kind of reminds me of Shrem Life 1, because I can picture that whole album being played at a strip club. And this was actually one of the first songs I heard from SAiNt, and the song that got me listening to his album. And I'm going to sound like a broken record throughout this whole thing, but this one again is also one of my favorites. And it really plays into my interpretation of the whole falling in love with the strip club theme. The next song is titled Who Do You Blame? And this is when the album starts slowing down a bit from the first 4 hype tracks. And this beat sounds a little poppy-ish, but he does well over it. And it just really showcases his versatility. And if you're still sticking with my theme, or my interpretation, this is when you kind of start to see a little turbulence into the relationship. Like I said, man, overall, great song. The next song is titled 94 Bentley. And I really enjoy this track, especially the layered vocals on the hook. It just makes this track stand out even more. But if I do have to critique it, honestly, I just wish that there was a little bit more in the verse. You know, I just felt like it just wasn't enough. But I mean, if we're talking sonics here, it all sounds good. So it's still overall a good song for me. And the next song after that is titled I Can Fucking Tell. Like I said, man, broken record, amazing track. You know, great singing. I love the guitar on the beat. And it also sticks to the theme of my interpretation again, where he says, I don't believe in wedding bells, I don't believe in us. So it's a little callback to the intro track. So I really think that this is where he was trying to go with it. Saying my interpretation of it, the whole falling in love with the stripper thing. Yeah, man, amazing song. I love the song. And the song after that is titled Borders. Now, this is actually a cool song because it features Lenny, which is, I'm guessing, since he titled it A Ghetto Lenny's Love Story, he was inspired by him. And I mean, the subject matter isn't anything too crazy, you know, a border, building a border between this like relationship. There's walls up, you know. It's nothing too crazy, it's nothing too grand, but I mean the beat is intoxicating, and it's a good night drive song that you could just ride out to. So again, man, amazing. So the ninth song is called Call Me After You Hear This, and this chorus is pretty much the main highlight of the song, especially how the beat progresses on the second half of the hook. It really makes the whole song pretty much. And the verses are average. It's a good song, you know, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's not one of my favorites, you know. So that's just how I feel about it. Still a good song. So the next song is titled Trophies, and this is a pretty easy song to listen to, a pretty easy song to get into. And the subject matter isn't crazy. It's pretty much for the first verse, he's just talking about trophies like success, and for the rest of the song, he's relating trophies to women. But like I said, man, overall great sounding song. There's not really much to the subject matter in terms philosophically. It's not this grand thing, but you know, it's good music. And the next song is titled All I Want Is a Yacht. Now I know majority of the people will probably think Trap is the best song on the album, but for me, I think this is the best song on the whole thing. The beat just does something to me. It just, the way the beat goes, and he's rapping these short lines that fit into a bar, is just, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but I just love it. The beat sounds amazing, and the producer did his thing on this, man. His confidence is through the roof. This is probably my favorite song on the record. Now, coming off of his best song is, in my opinion, his worst song, titled Monica Lewinsky. Now, this one actually features A Boogie with a Hoodie, but I mean, neither of them could do it for me. This song just doesn't do anything for me. It's just kind of boring. I tend to zone out whenever this song is on, but I mean, it doesn't sound awful. It's just not for me. And coming off of that is a song titled High School Reunion. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the guitar on this song kind of sounds like Lil Peep's Awful Things. I don't know if he recreated it, I don't know if he sampled it, but it sounds really similar. And I could totally picture this song being played in the background of like a high school movie after prom. Didn't really go as expected. But regardless of that, I still think it's a pretty catchy song, and it's a good overall song, and we're almost down to wrap this whole album up. Now, unfortunately, all good things come to an end with the song titled Cult Forever. Now, this is a great way to wrap this whole album up, and I really like that noise in the beat. I don't know what instrument it is, I don't know what sound it is, but it kind of sounds like a horn off a bicycle. But yeah, I just really like this song, and my interpretation of it is, when he says Cult Forever, I know he has a really dedicated fan base, so I feel like he could be talking about that. And also with the stripper thing with love, he could be talking about cult as in a love manner. But regardless, this is actually one of my favorites as well, and it's a really good way to wrap this whole thing up. And so that's everything from this whole album. You know, it's a tight 14 song track list. It's 44 minutes, and I have to admit, this was a really good album, especially from me going from not knowing who this guy was to actually hearing it. It's pretty insane. I feel like he should be a lot bigger, but I feel like that will come in due time, and he will get his credit. And yeah, man, I really enjoy this. I honestly think it's going to be one of my favorites from the whole year. And hopefully, if you guys haven't heard of him, hopefully this inspires you to go check him out. And if you have, leave your opinions down below. I'm interested to see. But yeah, man, this has been Low TV. Like I said, man, amazing project. And let me know if you guys like these reviews, and I can do a lot more. So peace out.